I offer myself at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Sisters and brothers, Sai Ram, and welcome to the concluding portion of our birthday observance here at the Flushing Sai Center. It is indeed Swami's immense blessing that we have in our midst today a chosen instrument of our dear Lord, Dr. Rupak and Mrs. Sarojini Changkakoti. Dr. Rupak was blessed to spend over 15 years in Swami's divine presence as a student in Brindavan. He was immensely blessed to serve as a personal attendant to our beloved Swami. And during these many years, he benefited from Swami's direct divine guidance, which he's here to share with all of us today. As a student, he was an accomplished singer and an actor who participated in many festivals, music programs, and dramas staged in the divine presence of our beloved Swami. In fact, our beloved Swami personally directed him for the roles of Adi Shankaracharya and Jesus Christ for the plays that were directed by Bhagavan himself. He accompanied Swami on many trips, including a very memorable trip that Swami made to the Indian state of Kashmir in 1980. And of course, we all know the great blessing that Swami conferred on him and Mrs. P. Sushila when he allowed them to render Sai Katha, a musical rendition of Swami's own life story in Chennai in 1981. And indeed, we are blessed that today he will render that same Sai Katha at the Flushing Sai Center. Brothers and sisters, first we would have a talk by Dr. Rupak Changkakoti, followed by a talk by Mrs. Sarojini, and then a musical tribute comprising the Sai Katha. First, I request you to join me in a very loving welcome to Dr. Rupak Changkakoti. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram to all of you. It's a great privilege, a pleasure, and a blessing to be speaking to you. I thank sincerely Sundar for inviting us here and giving us this divine privilege to be speaking on Swami's birthday. I call my talk A Journey with Swami, as we all are going a journey with Swami. If you see the picture, Swami is lighting a lamp, and this symbolizes Swami lighting my life's lamp, as he has lighted many of yours. I'll begin this talk. It'll be a story of my life with Swami, and which is still continuing. Swami has miraculous, mysterious ways of bringing people close to him. I would start with the first instance of our interaction with Swami, which happened way back in late 60s, and it was so miraculous that words fail to describe how he introduced himself. So this was one of our relatives had a bhajan organized in their place, and this was in the state of Meghalaya in the eastern part of India, a city called Shillong. And they had invited us home for a bhajan. And we thinking that it's one of those bhajans which you can walk in and walk out anytime you want. We reached this place very late. And by that time, everything was over. And we had not heard of Swami by then. And when we reached the place, the bhajan was over, but we still had the prasadam. And in this place, there was this person called Mr. Panikar. He was a gentleman from the south serving the Indian Air Force in the Air Force Center in Shillong. And he said that, why don't you come to another bhajan which is happening in 2 weeks in someone else's place? And we said, we'll definitely come. And we all went, the whole family went, and we went to the bhajan. We, this time, were in time. And we attended the bhajan. We felt very nice. And lo and behold, from nowhere, this Mr. Panikar comes and gives us a picture of Swami. That was literally Swami's visiting card to us. We take this picture and frame it very nicely and place it in our altar and start. We generally used to do evening kirtan kind of bhajans, which is very common in the eastern part of the country, Assam. We used to do kirtans and sit in front of the altar and do kirtans. One morning, Sunday morning, we were all sitting and doing kirtan, and this was in Shillong, and suddenly we heard footsteps come close to the door of the room in which the kirtan was happening. This was just our family. And from the door, light just moved around all the pictures. And we were all watching this light, and suddenly we thought, what's going on? But it went like a flash. And just after this, the kirtan was over. The kirtan was very charged that day, somehow. And when we went and watched the pictures, all the pictures had Amrit flowing from them. So like Swami was present right there with his footsteps along. And then we were very, very thrilled, and we said there's something in Swami's, in Swami. And then we started going to bhajans. We would attend bhajans in different families' homes. And I started singing bhajan as well. And one of the first bhajans I sang was Govind Hare Gopal Hare He Gopi Gopala Govind Hare Gopal Hare He Radha Ramana Lola Govind Hare Gopal Hare He Gopi Gopala Govind Hare Gopal Hare He Murali Gana Lola Govind Hare Gopal Hare He Radha Ramana Lola Govind Hare Gopal Hare He Nanda Gopabala Govind Hare Gopal Hare He Nanda Gopabala Govind Hare Gopal Hare He Gopi Gopabala. Just after this bhajan, and in the end of the bhajan, this person, Mr. Panikar, came and he was crying. He was one gentleman who was very close to Swami, and he experienced Swami in that bhajan that day. So that's what he said. And he started crying. So this was my introduction to Swami's fold. Then a couple of years later, we came as a group to Prashanti Nilayam along with a Sevadal group from Assam. And generally when the Sevadal group goes, they are assigned jobs, they are assigned different tasks, and we continue the task. We don't have much of a time to go and see Swami other than Swami passing by. And in those days, this was the time when, this was early 70s when the Purnachandra Hall was being built, and there was a lot of constructions going on in Prashanti Nilayam. And Swami would just suddenly pass by, he would come in a car and inspect the work, and we would just have a glimpse. So whenever and then each state was assigned certain dates in which they could go and see, have Swami's darshan. And in one of those days, it was Assam's turn, the state of Assam's turn. And then Swami goes around and then he stands in front of me and he asks me, "What is your name?" I tell, "My name is Rupak." And he says that, "Kahan se aaya?" which means, "Where have you come from?" I would say, "Assam." And this happened about in 2 or 3 times during our stay in Prashant Nilayam. This is almost like a 15 or 20-day trip in Prashant Nilayam. And he would keep on coming back to me and ask. Even sometimes he would just stop by when he's passing by the car and then say, "What's your name?" And then he will say, "Kahan se aaya?" Same questions again and again. A couple of years later, there used to be this summer course in Brindavan. And during that summer course, I got very fortunate to attend the summer course. This is a 1-month-long program which Swami used to give on Hinduism, spirituality, philosophy. And there used to be a day-long program. It ran for almost 1 month with various distinguished speakers coming and speaking about different philosophies, different Upanishads, different Gita explanations. So I was chosen and I came. And time and again he would ask me the same question after so many years later. And in the evenings there used to be bhajans where all the students from different states would come and sing bhajans, and Swami would sit with the students and be there for almost the whole time, or sometimes he would just come and go. And I was chosen from Assam state to sing bhajan, and the bhajan I sang in front of Swami was Bhaj Govindam Bhaj Gopalam Keshav Madhav Deen Dayalam Bhaj Govindam Bhaj Gopalam Keshav Madhav Deen Dayalam 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 Keshav Madhav Deen Dayalam Bhaj Govindam Bhaj Gopalam Keshav Madhav Deen Dayalam. And Swami would come and sit, and then he would tap to the bhajan with Swami used to play manjira or the tala. And this happened once. Then of course, Swami is the master there, so he can ask anyone to come and sing. He can stop anyone from singing. That's how it is when Swami is in the bhajan. And then he would, couple of times, he would come and say, even if it was not my turn to sing, I would be sitting somewhere in the back. He would come to me and say, "Come and sing this bhajan. Come and sing this bhajan." This happened almost 3 or 4 times, and this has happened to other students as well. But I was one of those fortunate ones who could sing the bhajan again and again, and he would ask me to sing this bhajan. So this was another way of his bringing me closer and closer. And while I was in Assam, one of the miraculous things that happened was one of the bhajans we were attending, and Shillong, as you know, is a pretty cold place in the winter. And we all had to wear coats to go to the bhajan and sit in the bhajan wearing coats. And I sang one bhajan, and after the bhajan, there was all vibhuti on my coat. So this was Swami's, and the same house, it so happened that Swami would come and unwrap candies, and the candy would be missing. So this happened in that house, and people were aghast as to, like, Swami's right here. Like, you cannot say how many ways Swami can be in the presence. When he wants to come somewhere, he just comes. Another instance was when there was a young little boy who had a very severe headache, and his father was the undersecretary in the government. And he came back one day from school and complained to his mother that his head is aching very severely. So the mother said, go and pray to Swami, he will cure you. So he went to the puja room, sat down and started praying to Swami. And lo and behold, Swami appears from the window. He appears, literally appears in flesh and blood. And then, because if he said to others that he saw Swami appear, people would not believe. What Swami did was, he left the whole room full of vibhuti, like piles of vibhuti sticking on the wall, on the pictures. And in fact, there was one little small picture of Swami. The pictures on the wall were Vivekananda's and Ramakrishna, Swami Ramakrishna's pictures. And every picture was filled with vibhuti. So these are the ways Swami brought me closer, making the belief stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Next slide. Another miraculous way in which he brought me closer was my admission to the college. After my, they call it PUC, the pre-university in those days, which is grade 12. I was applying to different universities, and I had applied to engineering colleges and local science colleges. And I did apply I was very, very keen to come to Swami's college as well. So what happened was, I applied to Swami's college, but our results came much later than the admission date in Swami's college in Brindavan. And I said, I will still apply, and we applied, and we thought that I will not get into this college, because it was too late. The session in Brindavan College starts in June, and my result came somewhere in early July. So it was much after the admission date. So what happened was, suddenly we get a letter from Brindavan, from he later became the Chancellor, Professor Gokak. And he sent a letter saying that you must come immediately, you are admitted. I was really surprised. All of us were very surprised. We had a very few days to prepare, and I got into the train and came, and later learned that it was already late. So Swami, most of the people who get into the college are selected by Swami himself. So the admissions are over, and my application was received by Professor Gokak. Professor Gokak took the application to Swami, and Swami said, call him. So this was learnt later, even before I came to Brindavan to do my Bachelor's of Science. Now this is, I don't know how many of you have seen this old Brindavan. Brindavan was very, very different in those days. Next slide. This is the building in which Swami used to stay. This is the front porch of the building. This is the top, this is like a terrace where Swami used to give morning darshans as well as in between darshans. And all the students there was a kind of a collapsible door there, where all the students would stand at the bottom, and he will suddenly appear, and then he would play a lot of hide and seek with us those days. This is the front porch. He's coming out for darshan. Now this is the bhajan hall in the front. This is the old building, Brindavan building. And Swami would, all the students would sit in front of Swami. Swami would sit there, and he will conduct the bhajans. And in these bhajans, he who chooses who should sing. And then if he doesn't like the bhajan, as usual, Swami he'll keep on playing the manjira or the tal, and suddenly he will stop playing the tal when you're supposed to stop the bhajan. That's the way to indicate. Or he will say, come you sing. And then he will ask anyone randomly amongst the students to sing. And he would ask me quite often. And the bhajan which I used to sing in front of Swami, which Swami loved the bhajan. Ganga Jatadhara Gauri Shankara Girijamana Ramana. Har Ganga Jatadhara Gauri Shankara Girijamana Ramana. Jaya Mrityunjaya Mahadeva Maheshwara Mangala Shubha Charana. Jaya Nandi Vahana Nagabhushana Nandi Vahana Nagabhushana Nirupama Guna Sadana Nirupama Guna Sadana Natana Manohara Neelakantha Sai Natana Manohara Neelakantha Sai Nirajadala Nayana Nirajadala Nayana Jaya Ganga Jatadhara Gauri Shankara Girijamana Ramana. Next slide. This is one of Swami's pictures. He's totally engrossed in the bhajan and playing the manjira. Now this is a new Trai Brindavan which was constructed after it was somewhere in late 70s, early 80s. And I had a room in the previous one. Swami had given me a room in the earlier Brindavan, and my room was a little on the right side in this Trai Brindavan as well. Next slide. Okay, when I came into Brindavan, it was the month of about August, and in the month of October, there was a thought amongst the different teachers and professors of the college to stage a play in front of Swami. And Swami, one fine day, comes to the hostel or our living quarters. And the living quarters were very, very simple. We were on one single floor, two floors. The lower floor had a dining hall as well attached to the floor, and our sleeping quarters were basically a bedding, as they call it, just a foldable bed, and just a small little box for our clothes. And he came down there, and he was sitting in the dining hall, and all the students were there. The principal of the college at that time, Dr. Narendra, was the principal. He was also there. And then Swami said, Narendra, in his own very simple way, I believe you are planning to have a play by students. Then Dr. Narendra says, yes, we want to have a play. And Swami says, what is the name of the play? Then he says, why don't we have a Shankaracharya? And he suggested Shankaracharya. And then he says that then everyone, Dr. Narendra agrees that, okay, we should have Shankaracharya. And then he started asking the teachers and the professor, who will play the role of Shankaracharya in this in play. Then he's just going around and just looking around. And he says, why don't you choose Rupak as Shankaracharya? And when he himself chooses, no one has anything to say. So I was chosen as the lead role of this play. And then when Swami wants something happen, it happens very quickly. I don't know how it happens, but it just happens. And within a few days, the script was written, the whole script was ready. And then Swami said, let's start the practice. And then he would himself come and direct the practice. He will then he had to choose the different characters in the play. It was a 7 or 8 act play. And we chose, the theme of the play was Bhaja Govindam, the famous Bhaja Govindam composed by Shankaracharya. It's 14 couplets, which is literally the quintessence of Bhakti and Upanishads. So it was a musical play, and like there were songs in this play, and this I'll sing a few of the songs. Bhaja Govindam, adapted from M.S. Subbalakshmi's Bhaja Govindam. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Samprapte samnihite kale, Samprapte samnihite kale, Nahi nahi rakshati tukrin karane, Nahi nahi rakshati tukrin karane. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Yavadvito Parjana Sakta Tavan Nija Parivaro Rakta. Yavadvito Parjana Sakta Savan Nija Parivaro Rakta. Pascha Jivati Jarjara Dehe, Pascha Jivati Jarjara Dehe, Vartam Kopina Prechati Gehe, Vartam Kopina Prechati Gehe. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Samprapte sannihite kale, Samprapte sannihite kale, Nahi nahi rakshati dukrin karane. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Then along with that he would, this was staged in the Navaratri time in Puttaparthi. First it was staged actually in Brindavan itself. I don't know how many have seen the Brindavan over earlier days, where there used to be a big huge tree, banyan tree, which still exists, and there used to be a kind of the stage was around the banyan tree. It was very, very a different setting altogether. Then he would also encourage us to give different various musical concerts on the stage. And he had very interesting most of the concerts were devotional songs, and one of those concerts, the very famous bhajan singer Anup Jalota came to see Swami, and this was happening in Puttaparthi, and I was singing on the stage Anup Jalota's songs themselves, and Anup Jalota was singing next to Swami, and he was telling Anup Jalota, "See, my students are so good, they can sing better than you." And actually, till today, whenever I go to any of Anup Jalota's concerts, he still remembers me. After the Bhaja Govindam play, almost a year later, Swami, in fact the same year, it so happened that I contracted typhoid. It was not diagnosed, and it happened when I was in Brindavan studying, and I had very, very high fever. So Swami asked me to be transferred to Puttaparthi, and I was staying in the same abode where Swami stayed, that is Prashanthi Nilayam proper. He was taking care of me literally. He would invite doctors to see my temperature. I had very, very high temperature. And went on for quite a while, almost 15-20 days, and I was getting weaker and weaker and weaker. So much so that there was a couple of students who used to take me to the restroom. And in one of those days, I fell down in the restroom because of weakness. And the doctors were still trying to diagnose what the problem was. They gave me the strongest of antibiotics, and that also acted into my weakness. And one day, it so happened that I was the Prashanthi Nilayam, which still is the interview room. If you have gone into the interview room, and the adjoining room was my room, and I was taken upstairs where Swami sits. And I was sitting there, and that particular day, my temperature vanished. I did not have any temperature. But Swami was running very, very high temperature. And then there was this saintly person who was a sannyasi, Mr. Karunyananda. He was always used to be with Swami, or in most of the time when there is a festival, he would come from Vijayawada, and he started shouting at me, saying that, "See, because of you, Swami has got fever." And in turn, Swami shouted at him, saying that, "Why are you blaming him? Poor fellow, he's already suffering so much. What if I've taken his fever?" And my fever disappeared for a few days, and then I was immediately transferred to Bangalore for further diagnosis, and then they discovered it was typhoid. So this was Swami's way of showing compassion, love, in you cannot imagine the love and compassion he has for all of us around him. And in regard to this, I'm reminded of a beautiful bhajan which is composed about this. Bhagavan, 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 tum ho प्राण सखा भगवान, तुम हो अनाथ नाथ भगवान, तुम हो अनाथ नाथ भगवान, ओ साई मेरे प्राण सखा भगवान, ओ साई मेरे प्राण सखा भगवान, तुम हो अनाथ नाथ भगवान, अनाथ नाथ भगवान. You can all sing with me if you want. तुम हो अनाथ नाथ भगवान, तुम हो अनाथ नाथ भगवान. ओ साई मेरे प्राण सखा भगवान, ओ साई मेरे
प्राण सखा भगवान.
मात पिता गुरु बंधु तुम हो, मात पिता गुरु बंधु तुम हो, मात पिता गुरु बंधु तुम हो, मात पिता गुरु बंधु तुम हो. भक्त सखा भगवान ओ साई, भक्त सखा भगवान ओ साई, भक्त सखा भगवान, भक्त सखा भगवान. भगवान 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 सखा भगवान ओ साई मेरे प्राण सखा भगवान, ओ साई मेरे प्राण सखा भगवान. तुम हो अनाथ नाथ भगवान. So he's there with you all the time. He's compassion incarnate, His mercy incarnate, His love incarnate. And I mean, you cannot really describe when you have gone through an experience like that. I mean, words fail to express the feeling, express, or the experience itself cannot be described. It's just an experience. Another miracle that happened when I was with Swami was, Swami is all-powerful. He can empower anyone he wants. He can take power from anyone he wants. And this was one of those incidents where Swami made me an instrument, Swami was going through a paralytic stroke. Swami could not walk. This was in early 80s. And Swami could not walk, and he had a paralytic stroke. And there were doctors who were checking him, and they were all the time with him. And so much so that the devotees knew about it, and they were very, very sad, and they were waiting for days for him to come out. So he would not give regular darshans those days. He would not go down to walk amongst devotees. And we would help Swami kind of literally prop him up from the veranda upstairs in Prashanti Nilayam to give darshan. Then it went on for 2, 3, 4 days, and his paralysis didn't go. He had the paralysis of the left leg, left side, mostly towards the leg. So he said, Rupak, go and get a pot of water. So I brought a small, they call it chimbu, a small pot of water, and I said, Swami, what do I do with it? He says, just take a few handfuls and just sprinkle on my leg. I just took a few handful, and as he instructed, sprinkle on his leg, and his paralysis vanished. So it's like he empowered me to do something which only he can do. It's like, and it was like a feeling which, I can't even describe what this feeling was, to kind of help be instrumental in Swami's miracles. Then he would, after this incident, Swami took us to all over India, mainly to Bombay, to have the play acted in Bombay, one of the biggest theatres in Bombay called Shanmugananda Hall. We enacted this Bhaja Govindam there. And then he started sending us as his messengers to various parts of the world. This was all his play, just to expose us to the rest of the world. He would send us to Southeast Asia, for example, Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia. Then he sent us to Europe to visit different countries in Europe. And he would take us to different trips in India itself. Next slide. This was while the trip which happened in Bombay for the Bhaja Govindam enacted on Shanmugananda Hall. That is actually Sathya, the Swami's home in Mumbai, Andheri, Mumbai. This is one of the pictures where I enacted as Jesus. This was called the Kingdom of Heaven. And this was one of the shots, and he would always kind of when he's sending us somewhere, he would just take a picture before we go, and then he will play with us. And this was one of the trips to Ooty. He would go to Ooty quite a few times because there was a school in Ooty, and in one of those trips, when we went to Ooty, next slide. This is actually a midway place on the way to Ooty called Mudumalai. This is a very nice forest, which is, there's one more forest called Bandipur, which is less thickly vegetated. It's not as thick a forest as Mudumalai. And Mudumalai, this is the miracle I want to talk to you about. This is what I used to be always carrying cameras around Swami. I would take his pictures, and then I would have instant camera called the Polaroid those days, and then I would have the SLR cameras or video camera. I would be always carrying those things when in Swami's trips. And then he said that, Rupak, come and take a picture. He just slightly moved away from the rest of the crowd. This is early morning, around 9 o'clock, 8:39. Very beautiful sunlight, slightly cold, a lot of dew on the. This is on the top of a hill. You can see beautiful trees and total greenery. And then he just moved away from the crowd, and he said, "Come and take a picture of mine." And I shot with the instant camera, the Polaroid camera. And this develops instantly, like within a few minutes it'll develop. And then he said, "Give me the film." The film ejects out. I gave the film to Swami, and he held it for some time, and then he just waved it like that. And lo and behold, you see Dattatraya's picture in the picture. So this was the miracle which actually you have seen this in other books also. And so Swami, it's very difficult to pinpoint what Swami cannot do. He can do anything he wants. Next slide. This is in the trip. Then he used to go to the on an elephant ride to watch the animals in the forest, and I'm sitting just behind him in this. He used to do all that. Next slide. Now, this was a beautiful trip to Kashmir. He took almost like... we went to Delhi first. This was Mr. Sohan Lal, who was a trust member, and he had organized this trip, and we went to Kashmir from there, Srinagar. We were hosted by the Commander-in-Chief of the army, General Malhotra, in Kashmir. And during that trip, he would take away like in a day picnic to beautiful locales in Srinagar. And this is one of those locales. Next one. Next slide, please. And it so happened that it was in the month of June, and one of those days was my birthday. It was June 8th. And then Swami arranged very secretly a cake. And then he celebrated my birthday. I was so surprised. You can see me behind, totally surprised standing. That's me behind Swami. And he cut the cake. Yeah, I can go next slide. So these are some of the miracles which he did. He did number of miracles. He would go to the river bank. There's that river called... there are various rivers flowing through Srinagar, very close to Srinagar. This is in Gulmarg, Kilanmarg. And he would all of a sudden take out things from the sand. This was Rama and Sita's idol in gold. Then there was one, he took out linga. Next slide. Then this is the Spatika linga he took out also. So he would keep on creating these different objects and giving it away. This is Swami in fun, like someone brought a coat for Swami. People would just bring anything and everything for Swami. So someone brought a coat from England, and he just wore it and said, "Rupak, come and take a picture." And then someone bought a car, and people used to love to get the car or any thing they buy blessed by Swami. And if they're close enough, so they would. Someone brought a car, and he sat on the car like that. Now you see him tying a turban on his head. So many of us don't see this side of Swami, where he's all fun and he will joke and laugh, but at the same time very serious from the outside, but so soft and so jovial and fun-loving. This is around 50th or 60th birthday, when Swami, they made a chariot for Swami, and he chose me to drive the first of his chariots. So this is me, and there's Srinivas behind. There's Radha Krishna sitting on the chariot, and Swami sat in the chariot for a procession to the university. This is actually in Shivam in Chennai, when we went to do the recording of the Sai Katha, which I'll sing later. Jai Sai Ram. So I thought I'll just share my life with Swami with you. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rupak, for that inspiring journey of your life. I'm sure we all felt like we traveled with Swami to all the places that you went. Thank you.